A very good evening to dear students, and today we will talk about the ecosystem. Ecosystem is commonly known as the horse tail, and this belongs to the ecositales, and ecositales comprises a single family which is known as the Ecositaceae, and this includes the two genera Ecosystem and Ecositites. Ecositites is a fossil one which is extinct now, and Ecosystem is a living genre. So this ecosystem is represented as a single living genre, and the visible plant body is a sporophyta, which is divisible into the stem, leaf, as well as the root. And very interesting one is that the stem has two distinct nodes as well as the internodes. So there is a nodes is there, and in between the nodes the internodes is there, and the internodes are longitudinally ribbed, and ribs of successive internodes alternate with each other. But before going to the detailed aspects of ecosystem, this is a pteridophyta, and this pteridophyta ecosystem belongs to arthrophyta, because the stem possesses definite ridges and furrows. Homosporous condition is there. It produces only one type of spore. The sporangia are placed on sporangiophore. The another interesting point is that the equisitales, and this equisitales, why this is equisitales? Because in this case, the leaves are scale-like structure is there. With the development of the steel is stephanosteel is there, and terminal strobile is there, or the cone is present, and sporangia borne onto the underside of pelted sporangiophore. So pelted sporangiophore is another interesting point of this ecositales, and it is belongs to the Ecositaceae, and this is known as the ecosystem. Why this is known as the ecosystem? Because there is a vallicular canal and carinal canal is present, and sunken stromata in grooves has also been recognized, which thus forming that the ecosystem is a ecosystem, or these are the characteristic features of the ecosystem. This is a Spinopsida. Order is Ecositales and Ecositaceae. Ecosystem is represented by 30 species, commonly known as the horsetail, as well as the scouring russes. These are the common names. They are distributed throughout the world except Australia and New Zealand. They grow in a variety of habitat. Some species prefer damp and shady places, and while other grow in marshy places where the ponds, near the pond, and along with the river bank. Ecosystem palustris. The Ecosystem arvens is found in xerophytic habitat, such as in grassland along with the roadside and railway track. Some common Indian species like the Ecosystem arvens, as well as the Ecosystem debile, diffusum, etc. species and debile occur into the plains along with the river bank, and E. arvens is in the very common species of western Himalayan ranges. The species of ecosystem are used as indicator for mineral in the soil, and some species accumulate even the gold for the in the soil. So the deposition of the silica in the outer wall is an important one, which protect them into the physical conditions or into the environment. And the texture is very rough also. They are also used in Ayurvedic medicine as in the diuretic. So the visible plant body in the ecosystem, this is a visible plant body, you can observe it. And in this case, you can find it that the visible plant body is a sporophyta, habit is a sporophyta, ecosystem is a perennial branch plant, creeping plant. It is which is having the underground rhizome, which have annual, erect, and aerial branches. The aerial branches are herbaceous, usually grow to a height of 10 to 60 centimeter, but they attain a height of 2 to 3 meter. For example, the Ecosystem Telmetia, and about 4 meter in Ecosystem ramosissimum, and Ecosystem giganteum. The largest species of ecosystem which grow in the tropics of South America has a stem up to the 13 meter long. But since the stem is relatively thin, 0.5 to 2 centimeter, it is vine-like in habit and climbs over adjacent tree. The diameter of the stem vary from a few millimeter to the 10 centimeter. Externally, this is a structure. You can finding it up into the picture. This is an external morphology, and in external morphology, you can share the points of strobilus at the tip. There is a fertile branch, and there is a sterile branches also been there. There is a branches of there are two type of branches is there. The limited growth as well as the unlimited growth. There is a nodes, and in between the nodes there is a internodes are there. There is a some tubers are also been there into the lower part or along with the rhizomatous part, and there is a root system is also been there. So the external morphology ecosystem is divisible into the stem, root as well as the leaves. The stem is a main underground. It's a creeping perennial rhizome. It often lies more than a meter below the surface of the soil. It is differentiated into the node as well as the internode. The rhizome bear two types, the aerial shoot, vegetative shoot, and female shoot. The both are differentiated into the nodes and as well as the internodes. There are two interesting branches, as I just pointed out, that the branches of unlimited growth as well as the branches of limited growth. You can observe that into the picture also. The unlimited growth branches they are further branched like the main vegetative shoot, and they differentiated into the nodes as well as the internode. The branches of limited growth, they are also differentiated into the nodes and internodes like vegetative shoot, but remain unbranched. But very interesting one is that this is another structure in which you can find that there is a node, there is a in between the two nodes there is a internodes, there is a groups is there, and also you can find leaves are coming out from the node, and also the ridges and group. These are the very another interesting point of once you are able to cut the section of the stem, then you can share that. And also the leaves are minute, scaly, and isophilous leaves are there. So the leaves are morphologically similar. They arise in the whole of the nodes of underground rhizome and aerial branches. They are fused at their bases to form a distinct sheath. And their distal free each gives like a frill-like appearance. The degree of fusion between the leaf and the number of leaves of a node varies considerably, not only amongst each different species of ecosystem, but also within the same species. The leaves of ecosystem are non-photosynthetic, and their main function is to protect the branch bud at the nodes. Once we are going to the internal structure, this is the internal structure of aerial shoot along with the nodes as well as the internodes. The transverse section diagrammatic representation, a cellular part is there. Then you can observe that this is a ecosystem internal anatomy. As we just again repeating the point, the plant is herbaceous and branch. The nodes are and internodes are onto the stem. This is showing the two type of character, hydrophytic character as well as the xerophytic characters. Two type of branches, aerial as well as the sterile branches. The branches are again of unlimited growth as well as the limited growth. The green initially green in color, later on due to the silica the color is going to change. The homosporous condition is there. They produce only one type of spore. Fertile branches bear strobili. Leaves are onto the nodes. The small scaly leaves are there. Roots are adventitious. Number of ridges are correspondent to the ridges of nodes. So the very interesting one is that just that once you are able to cut the section of the aerial one. So the outermost is the epidermis. There is a ridges and groove, and there is a stoma at the sunken stage. Stomata is there. Then the sclerum chimetus double-walled cell is there. Then the hypodermis, which is consisting of sclerum chimetus cells. This is also called the outer cortex. So then the palisade tissue is also with there, inner cortex. So cortex is usually consisting of inner cortex, palisade tissue as well as the sclerum chimetus hypodermis. So then the endodermis is there, pericycle is there, vascular bundles are there, carinal canal as well as the vallicular canal. The vallicular canal occurs into the cortex region or into the inner cortex, while the this carinal canal occur into the vascular zone. This is a cellular zone or cellular differentiation. In this case, you can say that the outermost layer is a cuticle, and this is supporting the epidermis, then the sclerum chimetus hypodermis, then the epistomatal character. There is a guard cell is there, also the stomata is there. It is occurring to the sunken stomata. Substomatal characters are there, then the palisade tissues, then this vallicular canal occur into the inner cortex. Then endodermis is and pericycle, and then the metaxylem, phloem, protoxylem, as well as the at the center there is a cranial canal is there. So the in a point you can say that there is a broad cortex is there, and the sunken stomata is also there. The broad cortex is having the mechanical as well as the assimilatory tissues. The seal condition is because in this case you are sharing that the stephanostele has been recognized. The vascular bundles are arranged. So in a case you can observe that the vascular bundles are arranged in this case. So they are arranged, they are collateral, they are arranged in a ring. And then very interesting one is that the vallicular canal occur at the inner cortex and cranial canal occur at the middle zone of the vascular tissues. And there another one is that because as I just mentioned that this showing the two type of characters, the girophytic character as well as the hydrophytic character. The girophytic characters are ridges and grooves are there, and also in this case the outer and radial wall is consisting of silica covering is there. Then also the sunken stomata is also there. Then the reduced scaly like leaves is there. Then the sclerenchymatous as well as the sclerenchymatous layer is there. Sclerenchymatous layer as just this is a hypodermal zone which is consisting of sclerenchymatous one and vascular system are well developed in this case. These are the girophytic character. But we have also said that this is showing the hydrophytic character also. So hydrophytic characters are unicellular cranial canal is also been there in this case, which occur into the pith cavity. There is a reduced xylem is there. And also the vallicular canal is also been there. So these are the points which you can say that this equisetum showing the girophytic character as well as the hydrophytic character. So this is a characteristic one of a characteristic feature of this equisetum. And once we are going to the external structure of node, this is a sharing point where you can find it at the epidermis, sclerenchymatous, hypodermis, sclerenchyma, cortex, phloem, xylem, metaxylem, leaf traces, branch traces, nodal diaphragm. And also this is a branch trace, and also you can share some character the protoxylem where the protoxylem, metaxylem, then also the nodal diaphragm is there. This is again this is showing the two type of character, girophytic character as well as the hydrophytic character. And once we are after discussing the points of girophytic character as well as the hydrophytic character, the another interesting point is that the reproduction, and this reproduction this spore of spore formation body is the strobilus. So this strobilus in which the sporangia is there, and usually if I'm just going to discuss the point of how the reproduction can take place into the equisetum. So the equisetum is again reproduced by two means, by vegetative mean as well as the sexual mode of reproduction. And in vegetative mode, the underground rhizome of some species of rhizome like the arvens form a tubers which is helping the vegetative propagation. The tubers develop into the irregular growth of some branch buds of nodes of the rhizome. They are oval shaped and pear shaped in some cases like the Talmatia species. The tubers has a central parenchymatous region which is rich in starch and which is usually 2 to 3 layer. The another way of reproduction is the sexual mode of reproduction or the reproduction by the spore. The equisetum, as we just talked into this equisetum, their homospory has been recognized into the equisetum. The spore develop into the sporangia, which are born into the sporangiophore. The sporangiophore are aggregated to a compact cone or the strobilus. So the formation of strobilus or the compact cone is a very interesting aspect. This strobilus is they are born terminal onto the vegetative shoot. But in some species, they are born into the special fertile shoot, and they are short-lived and die soon after the spores are shed. The strobilus has a central massive axis called the strobilus axis and a large number of sporangiophore. The sporangiophore project the right angle at a successive alternative hole from the strobilus axis. This is a diagram which you can find it at. This is the outer structure of strobilus. This is annulus. This is recognized with the fertile branches. Nodes is there, internodes is there. And also if I'm just going to the section of LS as well as the TS, Then the annulus is there, sporangia is there because it is producing only one type of spore. So pelted disc is there, and also the strobilus axis is there. So each strobilus is consisting of thick axis which bears several whole of a densely crowded sporangia onto the underside of pelted disc, and this is situated onto the apex of sporangiophore. But very interesting one. This is a very interesting one. As I just mentioned that there is a pelted disc. Pelted disc is usually hexagonal in outline, and there is elaters are also been recognized into the spore. The sporangiophore are arranged in hole. Each hole is composed of 20 sporangiophore or so on. So very interesting one is that the pelted or the hexagonal disc is there. So the very interesting one is that the pelted disc is present into the sporangiophore. And also in this case you can say that 20 sporangiophore are is been recognized, or maybe more sporangiophore may be recognized. Then this spores formation is there. Then once the spore formation is there, so then the fertilization has taken place, and this fertilization is a very interesting one in this case. Like the other pteridophyta, because before the fertilization, the neck canal cell and the ventral canal cell disintegrated and form a passage for the entry of anthrozoites. The disintegrated mass of these cells contain malic acid, which attract freely swimming anthrozoites toward the neck of the archegonia. Although many anthrozoites moves towards an archegonia, only one of them swim into it and fuses with the egg. Thus, the zygote is formed. Usually, more than one archegonia are fertilized in a prothallus. But in Equisetum debile, as many as 15 young embryo has been observed in a single prothallus. So, once the anthrozoites is there, so anthrozoites is reaching into the tip, and the neck canal cell as well as the ventral canal cell is going to be disintegrated, and there are many anthrozoites are going to find its place, and usually more than one archegonia is being fertilized. And even as I just put the example of a debile, where you can find 15 young embryo has been recognized. So embryo is going to convert into the sporophyta. So in a technical aspect, that once this spore under the favorable condition, sporophyta has been formulated by the development of the embryo. So in a life cycle pattern, this is a life cycle pattern of Equisetum. Equisetum can be vegetatively reproduced by means of tuber, or Equisetum, which is a representative is a sporophyta. And this is a 2x generation. It is having the strobilus. Strobilus is having the sporangiophore. Sporangiophore having the sporangia. Sporangia is having the spore mother cell, which undergoes the RD division or the meiosis, and it produces the spore. Spores are haploid, and under the germination they forms the prothalli. And the prothalli is having the antheridia as well as the archegonia, because they are the monoecious condition. So the one prothalli is there, and they forms the anthrozoites as well as the egg cells respectively. And once the fertilization is there, due to the disintegration of neck canal cell as well as the ventral canal cell, ultimately the zygote formation has taken place, and this zygote is going to convert into the embryo, and embryo develop into the sporophytic phase. So this is a gametophytic phase is going to be supported by the sporophytic phase. So the heterologous alternation of generation has also been recognized, and this is going to complete the life cycle of Equisetum. But in technical way, the Equisetum is a living entity of Equisetails member. The Equisetum is a living one. Equisetites is an extinct one. The visible plant body is a sporophyta. But very interesting one is that the plant body is also covered by the silical layer. And very interesting one is this showing the xerophytic character as well as the hydrophytic character. And this is a homosporous pteridophyta. Thank you. Namaskar.